In 2024, in several neighborhoods of Philadelphia, a dose of Tranq can be purchased for roughly $5. Tranq is a mixture of fentanyl, an extremely potent synthetic opioid, and xylazine, a sedative originally intended solely for veterinary use. Those who use Tranq are not merely addicted. They lose their ability to feel pain, their flesh begins to necrotize, their consciousness gradually fades. They stand motionless on the streets, bodies folded forward, like corpses that still breathe. And yet the paradox is this: the substance behind this devastation was once regarded as a gift, not from modern science, but from the gods. Long before the concept of drugs existed, human beings were already searching for ways to dull pain, pain from illness, pain from childbirth, pain from war, and pain from the sheer fragility of existence itself. Around 3,400 BCE, in ancient Mesopotamia, the Sumerians cultivated a plant bearing pale red flowers. When its unripe pods were cut, a milky white sap oozed out and later dried into a dark brown resin. When heated and consumed, this substance relaxed the body, eased pain, and caused consciousness to drift, as if entering a sleep engineered by human hands. The Sumerians called this plant Hul Gil, the plant of joy. In ancient Egypt, opium was recorded in the Ebers Papyrus, a medical text dated to approximately 1550 BCE. It was used to relieve pain, treat insomnia, and soothe crying infants at night. What is striking is that during the same period, Egyptians also practiced medical and ritual methods that seem almost unimaginable today. Some sources indicate that they used crocodile dung mixed with honey, inserted into the vagina, under the belief that the mixture functioned as a contraceptive. Compared with such methods, opium was considered a relatively humane option. Even so, in Egypt, the use of opium was generally restricted to priests, magicians, and warriors. Its discovery was attributed to Thoth, and myth held that Isis had given it to Ra to treat headaches. A small figurine of a goddess dating to around 1300 BCE from the Minoan period depicts 3 poppy pod-shaped hairpins, each bearing incisions suggesting that the Cretans understood how to extract opium. Her faint smile and parted lips imply a state of intoxication, leading some scholars to refer to her as the goddess of ecstasy. The Greeks and Romans continued to use opium in medicine. Hippocrates regarded it as a reasonable analgesic when administered correctly. Yet they were also quick to recognize its darker side. In Greek mythology, the poppy appears alongside Hypnos, the god of sleep, and Thanatos, the god of death. From antiquity onward, humanity understood that the boundary between sleep and death could be perilously thin. As Europe entered the Middle Ages, opium did not disappear. Instead, it was preserved and further developed within the Islamic world. In the 11th century, Avicenna, in his Canon of Medicine, described opium's powerful analgesic effects while warning that misuse could lead to dependence. This stands among the earliest records demonstrating that humans already understood opium's addictive potential, even without a scientific framework to explain it. Opium was also employed alongside poison hemlock, Conium maculatum, to bring about rapid and painless death. In medical contexts, it was used in the form of spongia somnifera, sponges soaked in opium, applied during surgical procedures. In medieval Europe, opium was commonly dissolved in alcohol to create analgesic tinctures, precursors to laudanum. In the 16th century, Paracelsus popularized laudanum across Europe. It was sold openly and prescribed for nearly everything, from toothaches and diarrhea to what was described as melancholy of the spirit. No prescription was required. No dosage warnings were given. In a world without anesthesia or antibiotics, opium was little short of miraculous. The 18th and 19th centuries marked opium's darkest phase. The British Empire cultivated opium on an industrial scale in India and funneled it into China in exchange for tea and silver. Historical records suggest that at certain points, approximately 10 to 12% of adult Chinese men were addicted to opium. When the Qing dynasty attempted to suppress its use, the Opium Wars erupted. Two conflicts ended with China being forced to open its markets to opium trade. For the first time in history, a psychoactive substance was weaponized as a tool of geopolitics. In the 19th century, science intervened again. Morphine was isolated from opium, representing a major medical breakthrough, particularly in wartime medicine. During the American Civil War, morphine was administered so extensively that the term soldier's disease emerged to describe post-war addiction. Each war produced a new generation of addicts, though they had initially been patients. In the early 20th century, heroin was marketed as a cough suppressant, safer than morphine. In reality, it proved to be faster acting and far more addictive. From the mid-20th century onward, a succession of synthetic opioids appeared: methadone, oxycodone, hydrocodone, and by the late 20th century, fentanyl emerged, 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. According to data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, in 2022 alone, more than 70,000 deaths from synthetic opioids, primarily fentanyl, were recorded in the United States. Opium was no longer merely plant resin or white powder. It had been reshaped into tablets, transdermal patches, injectable solutions, nasal sprays, assuming countless forms while converging on a single outcome: an ever more refined and profound dependence. It is important to note that opium itself has never fully disappeared from the legal world. Even today, the opium poppy, Papaver somniferum, is legally cultivated under strict government control in countries such as India, Turkey, and Australia, exclusively for medical and scientific use. Farmers must hold government-issued licenses. Their fields are registered and monitored, and the entire harvest is sold only to authorized state agencies or pharmaceutical manufacturers. The raw material is then processed into essential medicines, including morphine and codeine, which remain indispensable in modern pain treatment. In other words, opium was never inherently illegal. What changed was how it was controlled, who distributed it, and for what purpose it was used. From around 2015 onward, fentanyl virtually replaced heroin across many U.S. states. Once nearly everyone was addicted to fentanyl, the market demanded something stronger, something different to retain users. And then Tranq appeared. Xylazine was never designed for human use. It reduces blood circulation, causes tissue necrosis, and crucially, its effects cannot be reversed by naloxone. Tranq does not merely addict. It dismantles the body from within, leaving people suspended between life and death. In the history of drugs, few substances combine all of these characteristics. Not created for human use, not fully reversible, causes bodily necrosis while the user remains conscious. Turns addiction into a process of slow disintegration. If heroin is a gentle death and fentanyl a fast death, then Tranq is life prolonged in a state of decay. Opium was never born to destroy. It emerged from humanity's fear of pain, insomnia, and death. But across millennia, through medicine, ritual, science, war, commerce, and profit, it has been pushed ever further from its original purpose. The millennia-long journey of opium is not merely the history of drugs. It is the history of human civilization's attempt to control pain, pleasure, and its own fragility. So the question is not only, how do we stop Tranq? But rather, What has led an entire society to accept human existence in a state of no pain, but not truly alive?